Hey YouTube, welcome back to Escarlesco. In chess, get your Brazilian heart ready. We're still monitoring and following the locomotive of Brazil. Luiz Paulo SUP in the quest for the 3,100 rating, which is a brutal and completely extraordinary rating. Now, could this be the last episode following this saga? Did SUP achieve the feat of reaching 3,100E? Let's bring a memorable match, one of SUP's last games played on the platform. And more, since remembering is living, let's recall how it all started. SUP's first episode chasing this record in his words. It's on air. And
after a lot of thinking, or maybe just a little, I came to a conclusion. This series of ours, it's going to be called In Search of the 3100. Still here, I'm going to make a few remarks, okay guys? The 3100 is a tough rating to reach, but it's an interesting thing to go after. I mean, I think it's a goal that in the medium term could be, that in the medium to long term could be a realistic goal. But everything will really depend on the first, let's say, 10 or 15 episodes, okay?
in fact, as SUP says, a rating that's hard to reach for many, completely impossible. Now let's see what happened. SUP played a 3,030 rated anonymous grandmaster. Nobody knows who owns the account. But what the world really wonders is, who could he be? A bird? Is it a plane? A very well-known coach, but not the SUP. He pulls off a rare move. Knight f3, Raphael, but what is he trying to do here? Calling the foreigner to chess doesn't need theory, and he has plenty of chess skills. This variation is extremely rare. Knight c6 is being played now. Even rarer is knight d2, that's SUP's move, clearly inviting the foreigner to play chess. The first threats appear. Bishop moves to g4, clearly pinning on f3 and threatening the knight. Knight takes d4. SUP gives that bishop a little nudge, and the foreigner keeps the same threat. The theme of the pin. SUP spoke here on Brazilian soil. Bishop to b5 pins the knight, so it can't take on d4, then comes the natural e6. And both of them are developing their pieces as they should. c4 is played now by SUP, of course. This one isn't the attack to 9. The structure's similar, but the ideas have changed. Rook to c8, the foreigner played it. Now d4. This move pressures c6 and more. Here there's a very risky idea, which is d7, take a look. Playing on the pin theme, the knight couldn't take the queen. And look, the foreigner took the bait and played knight to e7, saying, you can take here, nothing happens. It's just a pawn, but your Brazilian queen will be far from the action. Will SUP accept it? See here. At this moment, he plays a refined move. It can't go unnoticed. He plays g4, Rafael Koba there. But why g4? Take a look at what? This move is the provocation. What move will SUP make in this game? Are you ready? But here, of course, comes the threat. You can see the threat to take the pawn on b7 remains. Here, the foreigner defended. And now, yes, SUP plays the move knight to e5. And look at the differences happening here, because the foreigner played f6. But now the bishop is already where SUP wanted it to be, and here this knight eliminates the bishop on g6. The position is confusing, and here the foreigner took with the pawn, which makes sense. He won't let SUP castle, or the h3 pawn will hang. And don't think that this queen here comes without any kind of drawback. The queen takes a pawn but moves too far from the game. If you give up this tempo, you'll need to bring her back. So, yes, it's actually a risky idea, but if you don't take risks, you won't get the 3 in 100 either. SUP now moves the knight to f3 to continue development, aiming to eventually move the bishop. Now comes king f7. See how well the foreigner plays. He wants his king hidden, and here it is. Now, in fact, he got out of the pin and threatened to take the queen. SUP moves the queen back to a4. We're not giving up this queen no matter what. And the capture on c4. Careful. Black is now gaining control of the d5 square. The pieces are moving past both kings in the center. Queen to c4 by SUP, noting his knight is pinned. If it moves, I'll trade queens. That extra pawn matters. If you can simplify and get rid of some problems, you can go into the endgame. I win with knight to d5. Now it's Gringo's move. The pieces are advancing. It's a bit scary. There's also the idea of bishop to b4. SUP already defends this a bit, and the engine's move came. Bishop to b4. So Gringo, this life isn't easy. He's playing the fine moves, put a piece into play, and now the rook can join the game. Currently, SUP makes a strong move by taking on c6, but Ravel, what's going on? If you take with the queen, we enter this endgame. Here we have an extra pawn, and let's go. Brazil, let's go with SUP. First, the exchange comes now on d2. SUP, of course, recaptured, and now black doesn't want to trade queens. That makes sense. You're down a pawn, so the pawn recapture comes. And the argument the foreigner makes is, where is SUP's king going? Notice that black's king is also in the center. But he's protected there by that pawn structure, and castling short is crazy. You'd hang the h3 pawn. Here's where everything unravels for SUP. He makes a risky move, but it's actually the machine's turn, Roca tones. Because the king is kind of safe on that queen side, that's what SUP is seeing. Fine line. Now comes the move. Queen f4, a pin here, a threat to take the f2 pawn. SUP said, no problem, I'll move the king to b1. If you take here, it's madness. Your queen is vulnerable too. The foreigner. He opens up the position, so now he starts opening lines for the rooks, since SUP's king is on the queen's flank. Now, in this position, SUP accepted. There, if you're giving me another pawn, I'll take it. And the whole idea is that now there's the proposal to exchange queens and to exchange the queens. Here it looks dangerous, especially with two passed pawns on the queen's flank. The foreigner. At this moment, he plays queen takes f2, and of course, he recovers one of those pawns, also threatening the move rook takes c5, or even queen takes c5, and the position is confusing. Now it's our turn because this move is a serious mistake. What counts as a serious mistake? What's happening? Gringo is going to take there, right? No, because SUP plays the sharp knight to e4, and now, look, he attacks the queen, and at the same time defends the pawn on c5. Plus, he threatens a fork with knight to d6. So everything makes sense. The time was under control. It was a remarkable and dramatic moment. Gringo squirms. A 3 in 100 player always fights back playing knight. Things are confusing here since you can take the queen. But it's an exchange and a pawn is threatened at the end. The king there could be vulnerable too. But SUP played the brilliant queen d3 again. Look at that move, look at that play. ef2 must defend both the queen and SUP since he's still threatening her. He threatens that check, and notice that wherever your king goes, you lose the rook with check. So there are a lot of threats now. The foreigner kept moving the queen around. He played queen to f3, saying, hold on, maybe one day you can even take that rook. It looks like a brutal line, but I'm still keeping an eye on your rook here, and even more so when your queen comes to take that rook. Your knight is also under threat. At this moment, SUP makes a move that's just brutal and frightening. Look at this chess. SUP plays the brilliant rook from h to f1, doubling his rooks. Look at how completely absurd the calculation is. Anyone on the planet would give the check or even double up. That would be good enough, right? SUP played this brilliant and brutal move, and the worst part of all, you can't take it. Look, because if you take either of the rooks, you lose the queen here, you're already done. The game goes down, and that's not even the worst part. Your queen is under threat, and you can't move her without losing her. If you play the queen to g2 while defending the knight, you'll lose the knight. Now here it's up to the locomotive of Brazil. The foreigner said, I don't lose the queen, I play queen. Take h3, capture the pawn, keep defending the knight, and protect my rook. And now are you getting hit with the double? But this is the last move of the game because the foreigner missed the move knight to g5, check the f pawn is pinned. And here he lost the queen. In this position, the foreigner gave up this battle game. Paulo SUP with this game reaches a 3,100 rating. Look at SUP's reaction when he hits this historic mark. It's on the air.
Take it. It's not possible that it's about to happen. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. It's not possible that this happened. Wait. Yeah. It's not that it's about to happen, it's that it's possible, right? So I had the impression that it was possible to reach 300, but I wasn't absolutely sure, that it was possible. And anyway, I want to thank all of you who followed these episodes, all of them.
This is historic and relevant. Share your thoughts below. Did you support us during this saga? Just like I did. And if you liked the video, spread the word. Don't forget to like it and see you in the next videos. Bye.